Thank you for clicking on the video. In the next few minutes, I will present to you a very effective yet beginner-friendly method of meditation that I have developed based on my own experience, specifically for twin flames, soulmates, or however we wish to refer to this phenomenon. However, anyone interested in meditation in general will likely enjoy it as well. Although it is suitable for absolute beginners and newcomers, it also includes more demanding, advanced, and mystical aspects that lead consciousness into deeper levels of the mind and allow for intense inner insight and experience. This is not just a simple guide. I will also explain how and why meditation works, what positive effects it has on your mind, your life, and the twin flame process, because meditation can be a powerful tool on this journey, a method recognized and established for thousands of years when it comes to achieving inner union and oneness. But a warning up front: properly and regularly practiced meditation can permanently and fundamentally change perception and consciousness. Contrary to popular belief, it is not just a spiritual exercise for relaxation, concentration, or mere wellness practice. Meditation is not only a practical exercise in spirituality, it connects you with the spirit, the mind, pure consciousness, with what you truly are beneath the layers of thought and veils of illusion, with the soul, and that is ultimately what this experience is about: to recognize, to remember who or what you truly are. When thoughts fall silent, the constant background noise of the mind ceases, then you can hear the voice of the soul again. There is also a very practical aspect to meditation. Regularity and repetition lead the brain to increasingly become accustomed to the state of consciousness and presence. The ability to master your mind even in difficult situations, not just special moments, improves tremendously, anchoring consciousness and thus the soul in everyday life. And that is what we are and where we want to go on this journey, which is always about the soul. The whole thing has a surprisingly scientific background, especially in the context of the well-known polarization between twin flames. In quantum physics, there is the so-called field theory, which states that everything is interconnected through quantum fields that are in constant interaction. Thoughts generate a constant electromagnetic field. No thoughts mean no or minimal field, no polarization between soul fragments. The topic is complex but highly interesting and relevant for the twin flame journey. If you want to learn more, definitely check out the related videos on my channel. Here we just want to develop a general understanding of the purpose and benefit of meditation. There are several other positive effects and good reasons why you should meditate regularly. Meditation is like a reset for the constantly thinking, chattering brain. In the silence, you connect not only with your higher self but sometimes also with deeper levels of being, with informational fields whose energetic structures connect everything, which become permeable and accessible in the thoughtless state. New ideas and spontaneous insights emerge from the void as if from nothing. Connections and realizations become clear. Creativity receives an immense boost. Some even speak of downloads from the knowledge store of the universe, or the so-called Akashic records. Physically, the benefits are also evident. Neural scans and measurements of brain activity and waves show how meditation positively affects our brains. Regular practice demonstrably leads to measurable changes in the brain, especially in the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for attention, clarity, and self-control, as well as in the hippocampus, associated with memory and learning. The density of gray matter increases, neuronal connectivity improves, stress hormones are reduced, and the limbic system, which governs emotions, responds more balanced. EEG measurements show that during deep meditation, brainwaves shift from the hectic beta rhythm to alpha and theta waves, associated with calm, creativity, and inner clarity. Long-term meditators even experience increased gamma waves, associated with higher states of consciousness and mystical experiences. Science thus confirms what mystics have known for millennia: meditation shapes consciousness not only subtly but visibly and measurably in the physical brain. And if you still think all this is boring or only for temple monks, let me tell you, meditation can be an intense, visual, and transcendental experience, comparable to an LSD or psilocybin trip, without substance use. Science has found that during deep meditation, in conjunction with the pineal gland, DMT can be released. Studies indicate that in deep immersion, the pineal gland is activated and releases endogenous DMT, the molecule also called the spirit molecule. If you have enjoyed the video so far, give it a thumbs up and stay with me. At the end, I will reveal 1 or 2 secrets that can take your meditation to a new level, or, if you are a beginner, show you a simple trick for an easy start. Now let's move on to the actual instructions. An important aspect of my meditation is that it does not follow strict rules or a classical guide as you might find in books or other videos. I developed it more or less myself, with minimal prior knowledge. Only later, after I enjoyed it, Did I educate myself a little, compare my own meditation experience with common methods, and supplement my technique with meaningful elements? I experimented and explored a lot, and you are invited to do the same. In this sense, it is a kind of freestyle meditation that contains all essential elements but also many optional techniques, which can be applied depending on need and progress and can build upon each other according to the depth of the meditative state. If you have never meditated or find it difficult, just try my method, because until a few months ago I was also an absolute beginner. That is what makes this meditation particularly beginner-friendly. If I, formerly restless and busy-minded, managed it, then you can too. But let's begin now. I will give it in a nearly classical way, providing guidance. You do not have to do it exactly this way. It is more of a rough outline so you can find your own path into meditation. At the end of the video, I will summarize the meditation in bullet points, but first, a more detailed explanation and some additional interesting information so you can better understand how meditation and its individual techniques work. First, find a quiet place and make yourself comfortable. You do not have to assume the classical lotus position, a common misunderstanding about meditation. Most people meditate in the classical way, and the correct position and posture are not meaningless, but they are not a prerequisite. My secret trick, which I will explain later, is very unconventional in this regard. Much more important is a quiet place where you can be undisturbed during meditation. The mind is usually loud enough anyway, so at least external noise should be eliminated. Disturbances during meditation can quickly throw you out of the state. Once you have found this place, relax your body, close your eyes and keep them closed for the entire meditation, breathe calmly and deeply, and then the most important thing, the essence and beginning of every meditation, what even every spiritual grandmaster and Indian yogi starts with: stop thinking. Simply stop thinking, keep your eyes closed, and think no more, no thought activity, absolute silence of the mind, bring the chattering thought machine to a halt. When thoughts arise, and they will, quiet them. You are the master and lord of your mind, and you do not want to think for a while. When the brain stops thinking, when the eternal stream of thoughts ceases, feel the mental presence that remains, the experiencing, perceiving, and observing consciousness. Whatever is there, that is you, your true core, beneath the layers of thoughts, personality, and subconscious automatisms. This is the foundation and basis. From here, there are various possibilities for what you can do or how to go deeper into meditation, but you will probably find that it is not so easy to maintain the thoughtless state continuously. The brain inevitably reasserts itself after some time, with random, unconscious thoughts, or it will tell a story about what to do later or tomorrow, what to buy, or similar fleeting thoughts. In my experience, this usually happens within a few minutes. If you are not careful, it is easy to get carried away by thoughts and forget that you actually did not want to think. But this is also an opportunity to recognize the nature of the mind and how the subconscious works. Thoughts reveal themselves as arbitrary, insignificant, unconscious, mostly unintended, even in the case of the decision to meditate, as unwanted, arising purely from automatisms. Not only in meditation, the mental technique of observing your own thoughts is the key to mental freedom and mastery, already applied by the sages of antiquity and beyond. What is observed, and not believed to be true, dissolves. Observing your own mind, conscious mental presence in the here and now, is also a central aspect of mindfulness. You can even find this principle everywhere as a symbol, even on currency, because the insight behind it is a well-guarded secret. Did you know that meditation is one of the first things taught to members in so-called secret and occult societies and forms the basis for advanced spiritual practices? If you want to know more, watch the video Twin Flames and the Eye of the Pyramid on my channel. We will now focus on the meditation. I hope you have understood how crucial it is not to think and to master the mind, but don't worry if it doesn't go well at first. This is completely normal. The first thing meditation will teach you is how powerful subconscious thoughts are. The brain does not seem designed to stop thinking. Fortunately, the ability to master the mind can be learned and improved through regular practice. A skill in the spirit of easy to learn, hard to master, but probably the most valuable skill you can learn in this life. Meditation is one of the most important tools for this. You are now sitting with closed eyes in a comfortable position, breathing deeply and calmly, having stopped thinking, recognizing and feeling pure, observing consciousness, and resting in this state. One way to proceed from here is an exercise in different perceptions, which also shows how the physical separates from the mental, and how this distinction can be felt and experienced, because only your own experience turns belief and information into real knowledge and insight. Begin with feeling. Feel your left foot. Do not think about the foot. Feel it. Direct your consciousness to the foot. Feel it as part of you, your body and field, the space you occupy. Now feel your right knee, not thinking about it, just feel, then the ear, the nose, feel the physical presence with your mind, explore your body with this perception, feel it as a whole. You can also let the focus of consciousness glide like waves from bottom to top, or vice versa, a technique also known as body scan meditation. Feel further, the weight of the physical body and also the weight and density of thoughts, which are somewhat physical in their essence. Feel them as a field, as a heavy cloud hovering over the mind. In contrast, feel consciousness, the presence of the mind, light, free, and unburdened, and feel how the field of the mind expands into space, far beyond the body. Rest in this perception. Now listen to the silence. When internal and external noise ceases, when there are no disturbing thoughts or sounds, you will hear something in the silence, a spherical, high-frequency humming, like a soft tinnitus. Many scientists explain this as background noise of the nervous system or sensory organs, a residual sound audible in absolute silence. Mystical traditions interpret it as the vibration of the subtle energy field, the resonance of the mind with the universal field. Regardless of physiological origin or spiritual frequency, the experience remains a gateway to deeper perception of silence. Imagine your favorite song, how the melody, the beats, the singing play in your mind. Let the melody play softer and louder. Feel the emotions it evokes, how the positive feeling noticeably raises your vibration. This can also be helpful in daily life to lift mood and thus your vibrational frequency. Isn't it fascinating? You don't need ears to hear, and you don't need physical eyes to see. We then move to deeper and transcendental levels of meditation, where the experience can become intensely spiritual and visual. I want to emphasize again that there is no strict order. You can combine different types of perception and techniques, use them sequentially, or just do what appeals to you or helps you reach deeper levels. The most important thing at the beginning is to enter the state without thought activity for a longer time. Focusing on perception helps, and what is particularly effective is focusing on the visual level. At a certain point, observing the inner screen leads us into a deeper, trance-like meditation state where the truly interesting experiences await, the gates to higher consciousness, and further spiritual practices that are only possible from this transcendental state. We observe the darkness behind our closed eyes and quickly realize that it is not so dark. On the mental screen, a lot is happening. Color patterns and structures in constant motion and change, swirling and dancing chaotically. Watch the play of colors, do not think or judge, simply observe the inner show. After a while, the unstable patterns will take on concrete forms or, for milliseconds, images, unreal landscapes, and objects will flash by, fleeting and quickly disappearing, merging, dissolving, reorganizing. Observe the surreal film on the mental screen and let the fascinating spectacle pull you deeper into your mind. If you do this for a few minutes, you will notice that objects, images, and scenes become more stable and concrete, especially if you focus your attention on them. You have now reached a deeper level of meditation from which other advanced techniques are possible. Stay briefly in this state of observation and, importantly, avoid thought activity. Initially, random subconscious thoughts will always arise. This is normal. Just don't let yourself be taken over or fall into unconsciousness, as this will quickly pull you out of depth. But it is also a valuable lesson, showing the difference between conscious, intended thinking and unconscious, automatic, unwanted thinking, a contrast especially evident in meditation, revealing how what we truly are, mind, soul, consciousness, separates from what we are not, body, intellect, thoughts, ego, dissolving false identification. Now think of something, a simple object, an animal, a landscape. At first, better something simple. You will see the image take shape before your mind's eye. Try to hold it as long as you can. Then think of something else and watch how the image transforms into the newly imagined one. A single thought, a small impulse, is enough to manifest visually on the mental screen. This gives the famous sentence from the first page of the Bible a new meaning. In the beginning was the Word, for a thought is nothing but a thought word. You can now play with your imagination, immerse your mind in the fascinating, surreal inner world. Observe how your mind acts and creates, how intention and attention generate form and meaning. You can even focus on individual patterns and color particles, noticing how they only take shape and make sense through your observation, while other patterns continue chaotically and meaninglessly if unobserved. This is deep spiritual insight and a quantum physics principle in action. This kind of inner observation opens the gates to deeper levels of consciousness and perception, a technique known to mystics and occultists. The most important aspect of the experience, whether inner or outer, is seeing. What we experience primarily visually as observers. A brief note, This visual technique is a form of self-hypnosis that reliably leads to a trance-like state of consciousness when observing color plays and subconscious images over a longer period. The subconscious plays an important role because it continuously brings content, symbols, and memories to the surface that remain hidden in the normal waking state. This makes the inner screen so vivid. What we see are fragments, projections, and energy patterns of the mind appearing unaltered in the thoughtless state. Physiologically, this can be partially explained by residual light processed on the retina and spontaneous nerve impulses in the retina and visual cortex, but biological explanations alone fall short when considering that patterns condense into symbolic images and even complex scenes with deeper immersion, a phenomenon described in mystical traditions as the activation of the third eye. The pineal gland, located at the center of the brain and long considered the seat of the soul, plays a central role. It is light-sensitive and can trigger neurochemical processes such as the release of DMT, opening perception, producing visions, and accessing transcendental consciousness levels. Physiological processes and spiritual experiences thus connect, as described for millennia in meditation, mysticism, and occultism. Immerse yourself in the color spectacle, play and experiment with visualizations. There are no limits. Imagine the night sky with thousands of sparkling stars. Imagine flying to the distant lights, then envision the entire universe with millions, billions of shining lights, unknown, distant worlds and galaxies. The stars are not only in the distant sky, they are also within you, eternity and infinity, inside and outside, above and below. As in the Hermetic writings, the laws of the cosmos are the laws of the soul. Meditation can teach you a lot about this. If you enjoyed this video, check out the second part, where it gets even more exciting and mystical. I will explain the Merkaba and show you how to connect with your twin flame through meditation. I would really appreciate a thumbs up and a comment. See you there.